Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is a Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. As you can see, blind tasting. From the comments I'm getting from most of you really like these. Now I'm not going to do them all the time, of course, but I'm going to try and do more of them. It was helpful. My wife was here. She's able to bag them up for me. And what we have here are Bordeauxes under $16. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this. And they're under $16. They come from two different vintages. They come from the 16 and the 19 vintages. Now you say, well, is that fair? Well, 19 was a good vintage. 16 was a good vintage. So we're going to see. I know that Bordeauxes take a while to age, but these are inexpensive, so most of them, I'm assuming, are ready to go now. And I'm really curious to see how the 16s are developing in that lower price point category. So let's get started right off the bat. This is number... Yeah, grab a glass, Stan. You can't do these without a glass, by the way. Just saying. Hard to do wine tasting without a glass. Well, you could probably drink it straight out of the bottle, I suppose. Number one. Okay, so, 19 was a warmer vintage, so a lot of these wines would be, lusher fruit when it's a warmer vintage, and I think it was a very consistent vintage. 16, a little different. Very interesting about 16. Before I get into that, let's look at the color. Very dark. Have to be careful with that gold drapery behind here. But it has a little bit of it's almost like it's unfiltered. It's a little cloudy. But there you go, darker color, which we'd expect. In Bordeaux, they use, of course, the three main grapes they use in Bordeaux. You tell me, what are the three main grapes? I know there's the 5 grapes, well, actually 6 grapes of Bordeaux. But what are the 3 main grapes? Mention in the comments. I want to see how many of you get it right. Fun to do that. Let's see what we get on the nose. This has pretty ripe cherry and currant notes on it. Getting a little bit of a cedar tones coming through, which I love in Bordeaux. Tiny hit of pencil lead. Almost a warm spice note. It's a cedar, but also a little bit of, I get a little bit of baking spice. Would you tell me it'd possibly be the 19 vintage, since it was a warmer year? Let's see what we get on the palate. Silky tannins, pretty tight, but silky tannins, a little gritty on the backside. So they start out silky, then they go gritty. Good structure, beautiful structure actually. The cedar notes come through. I get a little bit of that pencil lead on the back end. Very common in Bordeaux to get that. The cherry notes, and mostly currant. The cherry notes don't come through as much on the palate. Extremely tight. This needs a little bit of time to open up. I'd give it another year in the bottle, probably do quite nicely. But very tight. Good flavors. I like that. Almost a cedar tones coming through. I like that. Yeah. Keep going here. But, tight. I see a little bit of potential in maybe a year of aging. Just saying. Guess the vintage on some of these if I can. All right. Let's move on. Not super impressed. It doesn't taste like a really cheap Bordeaux, but it does have that little bit, yeah, you didn't pay too much for that, did you? Sort of flavor. All right. Be curious to see where that one falls in. Number 2. Give it a little rinse. I know they're all Bordeaux, but like I said, they could use more proportion of one over the other as far as, whether it's this, that, or the other. I'm not going to say anything because I know you guys know, but I'd like to see it in the comments. What are the 3 main grapes of Bordeaux? So look at the color. This is just a touch darker. This goes more into the burgundy, shades there. Really fairly dark. This is a much clearer than the other one. Now a lot of these guys, some of them don't filter their wines, so they get that cloudy thing. Nothing wrong with that, really. In fact, if you're vegan, you're probably looking for unfiltered wines, because one of the things they do to filter them is use egg whites as a filtering component that they can use. They have others that are, of course, okay for vegetarians. Let's see what we get on the nose. This has some really nice red and purple flower tones on it. I like that. This one also has some cedar notes. A little bit of leather. Definitely currants. Let's see what we get on the palate. This one's not doing it for me at all. It has good acidity, which is nice, but there's nothing really there. Just the acid. Kind of almost watery underneath that acid. A little veggie thing going on. Maybe some tomato stem. Yeah, this is a pass for me. I mean, yeah, it's watery, thin, good acidity, of course. Well, it's not good acidity if it doesn't have the other things to balance out. Remember, when I've talked about aging wines. In fact, I just want to mention my episode on can you age inexpensive wines. Over 3,000 views on that. I should have 3,000 subscribers, right? Maybe they didn't like the episode. No thumbs down though. Okay, so just nothing there. The red flowers come through. A little bit of currant, but really high acid, so it's really bright in the mouth, but kind of watery. Just saying. It tastes like a cheap Bordeaux. Yeah, not feeling it at all. Let's move on. Number 3. You know, some people, you know, they don't mind if they pay, what, 10 or 11 bucks for a wine and it's kind of like that. I expect more, actually. When I stack a wine at the store and it's in that price point, guys, you have to know that it's going to be better than that. I'm in constant search of great value wines. Constant. Okay, same color as number 2. Nice and dark, almost black tones to it. Like I said, I'm terrible with colors. Christy sent me some nice, I gotta go back and look on the comments because she sent me some nice ideas on colors. I'm just terrible at remembering. It's just burgundy to me. It's dark, 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 dark. On the nose, I get a little bit of a doughy component coming through. Not bread dough, but just dough, like maybe cookie dough without the sugar. This has some deep, oh, I probably should guess the vintage on this one as well. Putting my neck on the line here, guys. Could be way off, you know. Ooh, I got a little hit of like nettles coming through. Yeah, definitely nettles or salal leaf. Which, if it has Cab Franc in it, it's going to be. There's your first clue. That's all I'm going to give. Couldn't help myself. Little candy-esque, doughy, candied currants. Little red flowers coming through, like dark red flowers. And a little bit of that nettle veggie thing coming through. Let's see what we get on the palate. A little bit more going on with this one. It's interesting that nettle or veggie component comes through on the back of the mid palate. Up front, you get solid fruit. I get good currant, a little bit of plum as well. Getting a little plum action on this one. Nice leather tones. A little bit of wood component coming through. Cedar. Not cedar. More like pencil shavings. A touch thin on the mid palate. Again, I don't think this wine will age very long. It's just touch thin, but it finishes with a little bit of tobacco, which I like in a Bordeaux. This is the best so far of the bunch, I think. Yeah. Good structure. Nice balance. Just a little bit thin on the mid palate, but not too bad. Well, I can only go one. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm having a tough time with the vintage thing. It's really hard to tell on vintages. They're both good vintages, both classic vintages. So, yeah. 16 was interesting vintage because they had a lot of rain in June. So they were a little worried about it. Thought things would, it would hurt. It would be a poor vintage. That's what I'm trying to say. But it turns out it started getting really warm at the end of June, and then it just was dry. Then they started worrying about the vines being stressed. Then all of a sudden, boom, they got a little bit of rain, which helped the Merlot. And then boom, they got a little rain later, which helped the Cab. Turned out to be a great vintage for them. Number 4. Okay. Again, this is even darker. So these guys are getting dark here. This is pretty close to black. To me, kind of black velvet. Let's see what we get on the palate, on the nose. Licorice, I love that. Currants. Violet, purple and red flowers. Got a tiny hit of pencil lead coming through on this one as well. And a little worn leather. Let's see what we get on the palate. Like the nose on this one the best so far. Okay. I get excited about a wine like this when it comes to aging. If I don't know if it's a 16, if I can get it anymore, but deep. Structured tannins have a little grittiness to them, so it has good tannic structure to it. Approachable now. Could soften up a little bit as time goes by. Good currant nose. Good acidity. Nice and bright in the mouth. It had good weight start to finish. I mean, it never had a disappearing act on the mid palate or the finish, which I like. The fruit comes through on the back side. You know, a little dark cherry and currant notes on the back end of this. Nice acidity, good fruit, good tannic structure, all put together make for a wine that could age. Now I want to age this a long time. Now I'm getting a little leather on the back side as well. The purple and red flowers, kind of a potpourri of purple and red flowers, front to finish. Yeah, that leather is kind of a spine. I'm excited about this one. And then there's just a tiny hit of vegetation on the backside. There you go. I think you guys have figured out which one's going to be number 1. I'm just curious how I'm going to hit. So, let's put this together. All right, there you go. There's the lineup. Let's see where they land. I better get these out of the way. I think I never did this before. In last place with a D+. This is one I thought was thin, just acidic. Wasn't really super excited about this. I said it was a 19 vintage. F. Thynpont, Bordeaux, 2016. I missed. Merlot Cab Franc. This rolls in at $15. This is a pass, guys. This was thin, acidic. Yeah. Disappointed in that. Let's move on. I gave that a D+. In third place with a C+, I guess it is a 19 vintage. Got that one wrong. Number 1. This is the 2016. Damn, I got them all wrong. Chateau Mayn-Vieil Fronsac Bordeaux. And Fronsac means it's 100% what, guys? Fronsac. Usually close to 100% of one varietal. Come on, you brainiums in the wine world, tell me what that is. I'm not going to tell you. I'll put it in my captions, but I want to hear what you guys think. I like Chateau Mayn-Vieil. $15. There you go. In second place with a B-, pretty decent score. I guess it's 16. We know it's a 19. Now this is very interesting. How do I know it's 19? Because I think in the mix it was 2 16s, 2 19s. That's how I know. 2019 Chateau de Blagnac Bordeaux. This rolls in at $11, guys. That's crazy. $11. Wow. You see, I like this one. Had a little more depth. Not super excited about it, but guys, 11 versus 15. That's just crazy. Again, maybe, just maybe, 19 was a better vintage than 16. Well, obviously lusher, according to what I put. In first place with a B+. This is number 4. I guess it is a 2016, and it is a 2019 Chateau Haute Pauillac Bordeaux. Pauillac. This rolls in at $11, guys. $11. That's nuts. $11. I got to figure out where I got this one. I have no idea. For you sales reps that watch this, and I know there's a few of you that do, not on a regular basis. I know you're busy. We're all busy, right? Whoever has this Chateau Haute Pauillac, let me know. I'm very interested in this. Good bottle of wine. There you go. Look at that. Once again, last blind tasting I did, the less expensive Sancerre came in first place. In this place, the top 2 were the cheapest of the bunch. Crazy stuff. That's why you guys like these blind tastings. What can I say? Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I really appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Getting close to 500, which is exciting to me. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.